listening to A Scary State, and this week we're covering Florida. So, Lauren?
Yes, Kenzie?
Let's get started!
You did it!
Yay!
Make sure you're not tapping your
Sorry.
fingers. You and your hand
I'm not tapping my
movements.
fingers. It's the rings hitting
The many rings.
The many rings hitting the coffee cup. I'm so proud of myself. I realized when I was finishing up things today, I was like, okay, wait a minute. It's your turn to go first. What are we doing today? We're doing Florida. You are listening to Florida.
And you did such a good job. I was so nervous as you were getting close to saying Florida that we were going to, say a different state.
I started to get nervous when I was going to be after Florida because then I started to second guess whether it was covering or talking again. And I was like, fuck it, just go with covering.
And I think, because it changes every week, maybe.
I think we always say covering.
Oh. Well, there was that one week we had no idea what we said.
Right. Which is why I know we always say covering because I was looking back at that. And I'm like, no, it's covering.
Oh. Well,
there you go. Sorry, I went to grab the cup.
You aren't the loudest drinker.
Well, the audience really has no idea.
They don't, but they're going to hear all the little knick-knicks.
Well, but I mean, they really don't know how loud of a drinker I truly am.
And y'all are so fortunate for this.
It's really not that bad. I mean, into the microphone, yes, it is bad.
Mackenzie.
Oh my God. You barely even notice it.
Well, now.
Right.
But when I listen to the podcast and I'm editing, it's just...
Well, yeah, because you're listening for it.
No, when I'm editing and we take a break, sometimes I'll fast forward and I'll just hear gulp, gulp, gulp. And I'm like, oh God.
Well, it's a break and I know it's going to get cut out. Look, if I could get it to go away, I would. It's not like I'm keeping this around for entertainment. It's fucking weird.
Yeah.
There are some, if I drink without, it's worse with a straw. But if I drink out of my water bottle and tilt my head back, it's not as loud.
Okay.
So
it only took 28 years to learn. 27 years.
Well,
How old are you now? 28?
28.
Okay.
Well, when everyone fucking points it out to you all the time, every time you drink something, thirsty? No. I mean, yeah, that's why I drink water, but it'd be one gulp or it'd be 5 gulps.
I can tell you're not bitter or anything.
It's just annoying. It's the same thing with the spelling. Look, I get it. I can't spell either. And I know the running joke is the fact that I'm a teacher and I cannot spell. But the thing is it's not like anyone's really a better speller than I am. It's just that I'm the teacher, so it makes it look like, oh, she's a teacher and she can't spell. Well, guess what? Neither can my kids. And that's why I teach 3rd graders and not high schoolers. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I can't spell. Stop making fun of me.
Well, here's a fun game we're going to give to everyone.
It's not a game if I don't get anything.
This is a fun game. So, Mackenzie is in charge of our social media. She's the one who posts our social media, and she's the one who does all the typing and everything. So, this is the new game we're going to play. If on our social media, you are looking at the social media and you see a spelling mistake or a blatant grammar error, let us know. Reply to us, DM us, email us, message us on social media.
I think our listeners are a lot nicer than that and wouldn't make fun of somebody with dyslexia.
We're not making fun of you. They're not making fun of you. They're just going to point it out. And if you point it out, we're going to put all of the names into a little raffle. And at the end of a quarter, a month, however many mess ups Mackenzie has, we will draw a name and that person will get a little special something.
What do I get if I don't make any mess ups? Not a game.
I don't have an answer for that.
It's not a game if I don't get something.
I'll make you a star. You'll get a gold star.
I don't want a gold star. I want...
Beggars can't be choosers.
Then we're not playing the game.
We're playing the game. So send us things and we'll play this game.
Not unless you can come up with something that I get to win because I want to fucking win.
Okay, fine. I'll come up with something for you to win.
Thank you.
It's going to take some time. Okay. I'll come up with something like a crown.
It says Queen Bee, like a spelling bee.
Okay. I'll come up with something good for you.
Thank you.
All right.
Play the game.
All right. Game
on. Me against everybody. Ha!
I'm going to get into Florida.
Go for it.
All right. So there's a town in Florida called Christmas. Here, Christmas is celebrated year-round. Orange juice was invented in Florida.
I don't think I could do that.
Being Christmas year-round.
Yeah.
It's like Christmas town, Halloween town, Thanksgiving town, Nightmare Before Christmas.
It's it's one of those things that it's special because it's not all the time.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be special if it was all the time.
I would the lights out all the time, though.
Yes, but that doesn't have to be for Christmas. That could just be because winter is depressing and we should have lights on everything.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Florida is the flattest state in the U.S.
That makes sense. It's below sea level, isn't it? Isn't parts of it below sea level?
That would make sense.
Yeah.
Fort Lauderdale is slowly becoming known as one of the most LGBTQ-friendly cities in America.
Love that.
The largest number of shark attacks in the U.S. come from Florida, with the city of New Smyrna Beach recording the highest numbers out of all of Florida.
Which side is that on?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Well, Mom lives in Florida.
It's probably on the Gulf. That's what I would assume.
Why?
Why is that what I would assume?
Yeah.
Because the Gulf of Mexico has a lot of shark attacks.
It does?
Yeah.
Mm.
Is that where your mom lives?
Yeah.
Oh. I'm just kidding. It's probably the other side.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Florida is also the lightning capital of the world. Tampa to...
Oh my gosh. Yeah. There was like heat lightning all the time.
But this is like lightning.
Well, yeah, but like still, heat
Yeah.
lightning makes me just as nervous as any other lightning.
Well, Tampa to Titusville is known as Lightning Alley.
Hmm.
Florida was number 3 on the list of states that produced the most serial killers.
Makes sense.
In the
Wild down there.
Yeah. It's like a different place down there.
Mm-hmm.
In the Everglades, you can encounter both alligators and crocodiles.
My mom, I think every other to every 2 conversations we have, at some point she sees an alligator.
Oh my god.
Or she's telling me about seeing an alligator.
That's terrifying.
Yes.
Like, they're scary.
Yes.
Like, in the last time we covered Florida, Nora covered alligator attacks
Yes.
and crocodile attacks.
And my mom, the first time that she saw like an alligator like walk,
Yeah.
she was like, "Did you know they could do that?" Like, well, they have legs.
They
so
have
I
to get around
figured
somehow.
They're not a snake. They're not gonna slither.
That would be creepy.
That'd be
With
very
their little
creepy.
legs up.
Yeah, right.
Also, in the Everglades National Park, alligators outnumber people 3 to 1.
It's like Wyoming and sheep
Yeah.
or cows or whatever it is.
One of those livestock things. The largest tortoise that ever lived was named Goliath, and he resided at the Life Fellowship Bird Sanctuary in Seffner.
Aw.
He weighed about 919 pounds, which is
Hefty man.
which is 417 kilograms.
You're always so good about that.
Thank you.
I
I want our foreign listeners to know.
know,
measurements.
absolutely. And even as I'm typing it, I'm like, ugh, I don't feel like looking this up.
It's really easy to type into Google. It does translations for you right there.
I know.
There is a highway in Florida known as the Dead Zone due to the high number of accidents that occur here.
Mm.
It is I-4 and runs between Tampa and Daytona Beach. Between 1963 and the 1990s, there have been about 1,048 to 1,740 car accidents.
Jeez Louise.
I know. There is also a Devil's Chair located in Cassadaga.
Oh, I saw that when I was doing my research.
Oh, yes. It is popular with a spirit known as Old Scratch. If you sit in the chair long enough, Old Scratch will appear to you. Another legend says that if you leave a full can of beer on the chair at dusk, when you return the next morning, it'll be empty.
There's an episode of Criminal Minds where the guy's name is Mr. Scratch because he would use this drug that would make you forget things, but it was suggestive, so he could tell you to do something.
There's a thing like that called angel dust.
It's something like that.
Or yeah, if
And-
you blow it into someone's face, you can make them.
yeah, and
become your little
and they
slave
won't
thing.
remember anything.
Yeah.
You can convince them that anything or anyone is there, and they would think that they would see this monster, Mr. Scratch,
Mm-hmm.
killing whoever it is that was with them, but it was the person. But he was a scary one.
That sounds great.
I don't like that one. Anyway, that's Mr. Scratch.
So Florida ranked second in states that have reported the most UFO sightings. The world's most dangerous tree, the Manchinell, is in Florida. All parts of the tree contain toxins. Just touching the sap can cause blisters to appear.
Oh my god.
The tree has a few nicknames, some being the beach apple and, more fittingly, little apple of death.
Why don't they just cut it down?
Because it's gonna kill anyone who touches it. They have it there and they have it blocked off and stuff, so you don't touch it.
Hmm.
Ariana Grande was born in Boca Raton. Jim Morrison was born in Melbourne, and Bob Ross was born in Daytona Beach.
Barbara. Love me some Barbara.
So, Mackenzie, what are you telling us today?
So I am sharing the story of Lisa Bishop and the Freedon.
Okay.
Okay. Lisa Bishop was 23 years old and was a journalism student at Georgia State University in Atlanta. In 1988, she was working at her boyfriend of 3 years, Paul Cornell's nightclub, Metroplex Club. Nightclub, Metroplex Club. I hate when they have what it is in the name.
Like Metroplex nightclub?
But like it's Metroplex Club, and club is capitalized, which means it's part of the name.
Yeah.
Instead of just being the Metroplex, and then you would make it a nightclub.
Oh.
Or the nightclub as an adjective.
Well, there's like Bar Bayo or whatever in DC or Arlington, which is a bar.
Right.
Yeah.
It's annoying. I don't like when people do that.
Or Wilson's Hardware, which was a hardware store. No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, no, it fucking wasn't. Anyway, while working as a bar manager, she met a German sailor, Florian Meyer Borch, who had recently traveled to Atlanta from Miami, Florida. Florian was a marine mechanic who spent some time sailing around the Caribbean. Lisa was planning to write an article about the wealth disparities between America and Haiti. Friends had always described her as a social conscious person. At the time, people in Haiti were making an average of $300 per person per year.
Oh.
Yeah. Florian told Lisa about a trip he was planning to take around the Caribbean around Christmas time.
Wait, sorry, what year is this?
1988.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He knew about the article she wanted to write, so he invited Lisa to come along. Lisa was thrilled about the trip and knew it would be a huge help with writing her article. Lisa's family had their hesitations. Florian had been known as a drifter, and her family did not trust his intentions. Her father did not get a good feeling when he was shown a picture of Florian, and that he didn't think that Florian was someone that Lisa would have been with. Her mother thought of him as a freeloader who would mooch off of the people along his travels. Lisa and Paul had a long talk about going on their trip, and she assured him that there was nothing to worry about and nothing going on between her and Florian.
And Paul's who again?
The boyfriend.
Okay.
Paul said, quote, "We had a long discussion the night before she left, that she had to make her own decisions in life, that I couldn't follow her and take care of her wherever she went." Lisa and Florian were leaving from Miami on an 82-foot-long freighter named the Freedon. That is Freedon, not Freedom. The boat consisted of Lisa, Florian as the captain, and 7 other Haitian crew members. They were going to travel past the coast of Cuba and arrive in Gonaives, Haiti. Probably messed that up. Despite her family and Paul's protest, she was going to go on the trip. She did not want to miss out on this opportunity. Her father described her as headstrong, and once she set her mind to it, then she was going to do it. Lisa and Florian were set to sail on December 17th, 1988. The water was cold and choppy, and Florian was considering canceling the trip altogether. Lisa pleaded with Florian to still go on the trip, and Florian agreed. Lisa called her parents right before they shipped off at 2:30 in the afternoon. She told her parents that she would call as soon as she could, and that no matter what, she would call on Christmas Day. That was the last time anyone spoke to Lisa.
Ugh.
When Lisa did not call her family on Christmas, they immediately knew that something was wrong. Lisa's mom said, quote, "I could feel something was wrong. Mother's intuition. I guess you could call it." Lisa was to call me when she arrived, and that call never came. So, Lisa's family and her boyfriend Paul immediately began to look for Lisa. They contacted the U.S. Coast Guard numerous times to find out any information about Lisa or the freighter the Freedon. Lieutenant Commander Jeff Caronis said, quote, "The relatives of the people on board kept calling us, asking us for information. We kept in touch with the port authorities in various ports in the Caribbean area, and likewise down in Haiti. We sent several search and rescue flights in the most commonly traveled areas in the old Bahama Channel, which is the area between the United States and Haiti. It was still unsuccessful." While, of course, there were many theories and ideas as to what happened to the ship and its crew, given the area, there was, of course, a speculation of the ship disappearing because of the Bermuda Triangle. The ship could have been hijacked and everyone on board was killed. That area was known to have drastic weather changes. And while the Coast Guard hadn't retrieved any distress calls and there were no reports of bad weather, many did believe that the boat could have sank to the bottom because of a bad storm.
Right.
So the Coast Guard obviously could not find the boat. But they even contacted Cuba port officials, asking if they had any knowledge of the boat or its whereabouts, and they knew nothing. Aside from Lisa, neither Florian's family or any of the Haitian crew members' family had contact with their loved ones who were also on this ship. Unfortunately, I could not find the names of any of the crew members, but there were several reports of these family members saying that they hadn't heard from anyone. So no one's heard from anyone.
Right.
This is the most logical of explanations as to what happened to the Freedon.
What, that it sunk?
Or is it? Yes, that it sunk. Paul and Lisa's mother, Linda, traveled to Miami to search for answers. They spoke with a reporter who shared Amy's story in the paper. A local salvager, Bob Nyberg, said that he saw the Freedon at a port in the Cayman Islands. Nyberg had seen the ship in January of 1989, which was only a couple weeks after the ship had really just last been seen.
Yeah.
If it had disappeared by Christmas.
Yeah, and Christmas, after Christmas.
Nyberg described the boat and why it stuck out to him, saying, quote, I remember that while I was working in Grand Cayman in January of that year, there'd been a boat that came in. We were working underwater directly in the harbor area where the ships pulled up and tied up. When I heard the ship come in, we came up, and as I was coming out of the water, we looked back and noticed that the name was Freedon, Freedon. And I made a statement to my friend that those guys need their freedom. They can't even spell the word, which doesn't make any sense. I get it, the spelled wrong, but that doesn't make any sense. Anyway, bad joke.
They did not land.
No. They were there for some time that afternoon, and the next morning the boat was gone. Georgetown Harbor on Grand Cayman Island is about 500 miles from Haiti, but the news of a possible sighting of the ship brought hope to Lisa's family. Her mom saying, quote, the fact that the ship was spotted and that it had not gone down brought me hope that Lisa was alive and had to be held against her will in order for her not to contact us. Lisa's boyfriend Paul and Bob Nyberg traveled to the Cayman Islands to see if they could track down Florian or Lisa or find any more information regarding the whereabouts of the Freedon. There were several witnesses who claimed that they had seen Florian around the island at the same time as Bob Nyberg spotting the ship, and that he was usually seen with a shorter man with dark hair. However, no one recalled seeing Lisa with him or at any point in time. Paul traveled back to the States and went to visit the woman who was holding on to Florian's belongings. Some reports said she was a girlfriend. Others said she was just an acquaintance. But she showed Paul all of the things that she had of Florian's and some photographs. And in the photograph, Paul spotted the man that was supposedly seen with Florian in the Grand Caymans. The woman told Paul that the man was named Philippe. And she had dated Philippe previously, and he told her about a smuggling operation that he was involved with. And it was actually Philippe that had chartered the Freedon.
Oh.
Paul told Unsolved Mysteries. The girl told me that he mentioned that he was involved in a large-scale smuggling thing and that something had gone wrong and that they had gotten involved in something too deep that Lisa didn't know about and couldn't handle it. I feel that if Florian is out there, eventually I'll find out about it and I'll locate him. To this day, Florian is wanted as a suspect in Lisa's disappearance. Investigators believe he is key to solving this case. ... Or is he? I don't know why I said ... That's so stupid.
You're like, this will sound more dramatic. ...
Okay, let me try that again.
Nope.
Fuck. You asshole. Alright. Paul and Lisa had a rocky 3-year relationship. Lisa was a younger, beautiful girl with her whole life ahead of her. Paul was not thrilled about the idea of his girlfriend leaving to go travel with a man she had only known for a year or so.
I mean, valid.
Despite what he told Unsolved Mysteries back in 1990, he was not supportive of Lisa going on this trip. But was Florian really a stranger to the couple? Lisa had met Florian at Paul's nightclub, and it was a little over a year before he had asked her to go on the trip with him. Could it be that Lisa was leaving Paul for Florian? Paul claims to have hardly known the man, but if he frequented the nightclub, how could Paul not have met him?
Right.
If his girlfriend had.
Right.
How did Paul know about the woman that Florian had left his possessions with? Could the couples have been closer than originally reported? Florian was younger and better looking than Paul, which is very true when you see the pictures. He was adventurous and had long blonde hair with blue eyes. And he was German, so foreign. And automatically gets you some brownie points. So could it be possible that Florian and Lisa were having an affair and this trip was a guise to run away together? Many speculated that it would seem odd for a woman to up and leave her family and long-term relationship for a man she, quote, hardly knew. Mm-hmm. One person commented on the post from the Unsolved Mysteries episode. The episode was in like 1990, but a lot of these posts are like current. So this comment is from 2016.
Oh.
The commenter is only identified as James, and he said, quote, obviously this woman was having a fling with this guy. Women don't just up and proclaim they are traveling with a guy and tell their family and their boyfriend who are begging them not to go to basically mind their own business if they were not romantically involved with this person. And my favorite part of this quote, find me a woman who could go anywhere with a guy they are not sleeping with, and I'll show you an ostrich that eats bologna sandwiches.
He also sounds like the kind of person, I am an expert in women, so
Right.
no woman would do this. Sir, where is your experience?
Just wait till this next sentence. So while it is possible for a woman to want to be friends with a man and even travel with them without wanting to sleep with them, it is also understandable why some might speculate Lisa's intentions.
Mm-hmm.
On Reddit, a person with the username Traditional Drummer left this comment. I've known Paul since the 80s. I met Lisa at least once. They're a very pretty young lady. I have my personal pet theories about what happened. I don't believe she was a writer or a journalist, though she was smart and articulate. I do believe she got on a boat with someone, but Haiti would not have been the destination. I personally believe that they were going to Jamaica. Whatever happened to cause their disappearance is beyond me. I have no proof of this, just my personal hypothesis. The last I spoke about this with Paul, he was and always will be looking for her, though not actively, as there have been no new clues to investigate. He'll tell you the same story today. She got on a boat with a guy she didn't know and was never seen again. I'm certain Paul had nothing to do with it, although it is possible that not all of the information about this case is out. Again, I have no evidence of this, just a hypothesis I fiddle with. Others believe that she could have been sold into a sex ring operation, and some even believe that Florian and Paul maybe were in it together, with Lisa none the wiser about what the two were planning to do with her. Some have reported seeing the ship in other areas, but under the name Freedon.
What does that even mean?
I have no idea.
Oh, maybe reliant, but freeliant.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah.
You know.
You know he likes to change up words. Freedon.
Yeah.
Freeliant.
Exactly. It seems to match the description of the tattered up Freedon, and there are a few people who have claimed possibly seen the boat in the early 1990s in Miami or other parts of the Caribbean. If there truly have been all these sightings of the boat, then maybe it is possible for Lisa, Florian, and the rest of the crew of the Freedon are out there somewhere. Or are they? ... You said it, not me. So, remember, Florian almost canceled the trip altogether because of the bad weather, but gave in to Lisa's request. When the weather cleared, they set sail. There was some rough weather reported in Miami after the boat had already left. The Freedon did not have any communications or survival equipment and was in poor condition. One person commented on the post pointing out the fact that no one actually saw the boat leave the shore. There are a few images of the boat, and the couple images that can be found are docked in Miami. The anonymous commentator went on to say, quote, "Is it possible that a sinister spin was placed upon this that not need..."
What?
He said it all fancy, so give me a second. Is it possible that a sinister spin was placed upon this that need not be? Is it possible that the ship just sank? I looked at pictures of that ship. It did not look seaworthy. I just find it hard to believe that no one has spotted them. The ship is very noticeable. It would have been spotted by now. I just think the ship sank and they passed shortly after they set off on the trip and nothing underhand had happened. I could certainly be wrong, but it's just hard to keep hidden this long unless you are at the bottom of the ocean. I have worked in law enforcement and have seen reports that have sightings of individuals all over abroad areas. They can be very convincing and appear to be accurate, later to find out that they are completely wrong. That may be what happened here with the sightings of the two men. It seems most likely that the ship sank somewhere on its route to Haiti, killing the passengers and the crew aboard. So I leave you with this final comment made by someone who claimed to know Felipe, the mysterious man supposedly seen with Florian. So this comment was posted on September 28th, 2020 by a user named Jacka. They said, "Why not get back to Paul? I was told he was still looking for her. I do believe he has another business now in Atlanta. I also know that a woman back in 1991 or so claimed to have said to Unsolved Mysteries that she met and knew Felipe. She said that she had a case with this person and that he was arrested somewhere in Asia due to drug smuggling. He managed to get away and was never caught again. This was told to this woman in Bangkok. I would like to see the picture of this shady guy Felipe and names of the crew members. Can someone get in touch with any of the police departments or ask around the state of the case? I may try to ask someone around here in Asia. Why don't get back to this?" Grammar.
Yeah.
Paul is believed to be innocent and probably is, but why not reopen the case and talk to him again? Make him, I'm assuming, answer some more questions. Ask for the identities of others to be mentioned. Attached, the person's comment, can someone try to reach her? And it was from Rosalie Townsend. It wasn't on the post from here.
Oh.
It was, I don't know where it was from. The person didn't say.
Okay.
But the date is October 17th, 2016 at 11:11. A lady I met in Bangkok in March of 1991, deceased in 2008, was also involved when the Freedon was docked in Perth. She jumped ship as it pulled out. This was approximately February 1991. I met her in Bangkok, and she went on to Singapore. Ship was carrying weapons, and the Coast Guard prevented the ship from leaving Perth for several days. She later told me that the ship was found in the Pacific just west of San Francisco. Felipe jumped ship, but the Coast Guard got him, and the case was to go to trial in San Francisco. Felipe had charmed her and was at one time staying in her home for a short time in Taos. By this time, I'm sure everything about the case is documented and updated. Last I heard from Helen was around 2005. I'm surprised the family of the missing girl doesn't have all this information. I reported all to Unsolved Mysteries shortly after arriving back in California in late March 1991. And so that was the comment. And the original person who posted the comment said, I tried to contact Paul last week, but till now, no reply. What if we use social media and get back on this one? Are her parents still alive? And no one else really commented on it or anything. So no one knows what happened to the Freedon or its passengers, although many speculate all kinds of theories. Today, there has been no new information or knowledge of what happened. So what do you think happened?
I don't know. The sinking theory is a good theory. It's always a solid theory. But I kind of like the running away theory. But then it makes you wonder what happened to, like, the 7 other crew members.
Right. Like, that's the thing that I kept seeing pop up is that no one else's family had also, like, heard from anyone.
Right. So it's like, yeah, maybe they ran away, but then there's these 7 other people.
Right.
What did they do? Like, dock wherever they wanted, and we're like, all right, bye.
Right. Now, I don't know how, like, yes, they for sure talked to these other families. I know they talked to Florian's family.
Yeah.
But I mean, I highly doubt that they talked to any of the crew members. But it sounded, when I was watching the episode of Unsolved Mysteries, I think, like, they had also mentioned it too, or, like, the Coast Guard or something.
That they had talked to the families?
Yeah. And so when they said families, I assumed that meant everybody.
Yeah, because it makes you think, like, if they did, run away to be together, then if they had, like, I guess, released, like, the crew members, they would have gone back to their families or at least contacted them.
Yeah, and the Coast Guard was in touch with Haiti, and they had reports of nothing. And they also said that the boat didn't have communication or, like, safety equipment or survival equipment. And the boat, like, it's a pretty stingy looking boat.
And was the Florian...
There's a bunch of mattresses stacked on it.
Whatever his name is, Florian.
Yeah.
Was he, like, a captain? Like, did he know how to
sail? He was a marine mechanic.
Oh.
Yeah. So he has, like, sailed before.
I don't know. Because it makes you think, like, if he wasn't, like, a well-to-do person, like, he didn't know what he was doing, then sinking would have been, like, could have happened. They could have gone off course. They could have crash-landed.
This is something he's done before.
Yeah, exactly.
And the other thing, too, is that unless there's just a lot of information that has holes in it, there was one post about, they were like, I read the article from, like, the Miami Times. They probably have the most accurate information. I said, yeah, but that's not fun. And they were the ones that were talking about the state of the boat.
Yeah.
That it probably wouldn't be that difficult. It probably wouldn't have to be that severe of a storm
to damage
it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was pretty, there's not a lot of pictures, but the pictures, it's not a good looking boat.
Yeah.
It's that, and what's odd to me, which people brought up in the sense of, like, well, why would she just go on a boat with a guy she doesn't know or whatever? And I'm like, when you see the boat, yeah, like, why would you just go, like, it's not a nice boat. It's not like a boat for people. It's a freighter boat. It's taking cargo. Like, it's not a luxury boat. And so it's like, are you really that dedicated to this article? And she technically wasn't working for anybody. This was, like, a freelance article, supposedly.
So she's just, like, doing this on her own time.
Right. Which, yes, going there would allow for a better opportunity. It's not, like, far-fetched that that's why she would want to go.
Right.
And if she had known him for almost a year.
Right.
Granted, maybe not BFFs, but, like, if she knew him for a year, for him to know that she wanted to write this article.
That's true.
I just think Paul knows more about him
than he's letting on.
And I don't know if this is an official investigation with, like, Miami police or something.
I mean, probably not, just because if it's a boat going out into the water, it's, like, the whole weird open water laws and, like, all that weird stuff.
Because when I was watching the Unsolved Mysteries thing, they said that, like, the family kept calling the Coast Guard and was like, hey, like, what's going on? What's going on? And then later in the episode, Paul and her mom like went down to Miami and they were like, we were the only ones looking for her.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's weird.
What do you think happened?
I either think it sunk or it's something bad, because I really don't think that, like, if Florian was not the type of person, he didn't seem like the type of person to not be in contact with his family. It's not like his family never heard from him. And so if they really did disappear, then it sunk because no one has heard from any of them.
Right. And especially if the daughter was like, oh, I'll give you a call on Christmas. Oh, I'll give you a call when we get
like,
there.
She's clearly not the type of person either to have gone this long without contacting anybody, at least her family. And maybe not Paul. Paul seems kind of sketch. But given, like, the state of the boat, the fact that, like, it didn't seem like it was any sort of official trip. You know, some people kept asking, oh, are there logs?
Well, yeah, if it's not an official trip, I doubt it.
And it doesn't seem like this is something, like, official.
Yeah.
It seemed like it was chartered by somebody else, just as, like, a boat to use to get from here to there. And so I don't know how well...
I mean, but if they were carrying stuff, then maybe there would have been logs.
Yeah, but I don't know if it was, like, official. Like, it's not the type of boat that you would see that's like, oh, yeah, okay, that has cargo. Like, the big cargo ships.
Right.
It's a big boat, but it's, like, rusty. And unless the one they were showing in the episode is not the accurate one, it looked like it had a bunch of mattresses stacked on top of it.
Oh.
Right? You see how there's a freaking...
That's super rusty.
Right?
Ew, I would not want to get in that.
It's super rusty.
Yeah.
This is a grimy looking fucking boat.
That doesn't look good.
So I'm like, there's definitely something more going on.
Yeah, I think so.
Lisa may be completely innocent and just got put in a bad situation, or she could be in cahoots with Florian. I definitely think Paul knew him better, because it could also very much be, oh, well, she's missing and she was maybe kidnapped by this guy because he's still alive, but we haven't heard from her. And so they think he's responsible.
Interesting.
So I'm like, well, okay, well, what story is Paul spinning?
Right.
Because Paul's not attractive. So, and she's very pretty.
Yeah, she was very pretty.
Yeah.
I saw a picture when I looked up.
This is Florian.
Oh my god.
Right?
The hair is blowing in the breeze.
He's like a German Fabio.
Yeah, exactly. That is exactly how I would describe him.
Yeah. Who knows?
Who knows? I hate mysteries. I like reading about them, but I want to know them.
Right. Obviously. But that's why it was also really fun, because a lot of the articles I found, there were so many comments on them.
Yes.
And it was like recent comments too. Like most of it was in the last like 5 years.
Yeah.
So that was really fun, which is why I could kind of piece it together with all these theories, because they kind of all morphed together.
Yeah.
So the story itself wasn't long, because obviously, like, that's it, that they don't know what happened to her. But coming up with all the speculations.
Yes. That's always the more fun part.
And maybe, because remember, the Unsolved Mysteries was in 1990. Now, granted, no new information has come out, but that could very well be maybe Lisa was trying to get away from Paul. And maybe this was the only way to do it. And so she couldn't tell her family right away because she didn't, she had to make it more believable.
Yeah.
And so, but now it's been 30 years? More than that.
And sadly, we probably will never know. If there are any advances in the case, it's probably also not something that would, like, be the forefront of news.
Right. This wasn't exactly, like, I had to do some digging.
Yeah, exactly. So if something did happen, it might be one article somewhere,
But anyway, that's my story.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good job.
Thank you. Did it seem mysterious enough?
It did seem mysterious.
Were you starting to believe one route over the other every time I changed it?
Every time.
Really?
It was good.
Okay.
All right. So Florida, as we know, is full of weird, strange, and spooky things. But today I wanted to cover a weird urban legend.
Ooh.
And so side note, when I was doing all of the state facts, I usually have to go like creepy facts about state, scary facts about state. And I have to go through a couple different things to find enough facts for Florida. I typed in creepy facts about state. It took me like 3 articles to find enough creepy stuff. All right. Fog and mist have always been and will always be a strange natural phenomena that is just plain spooky. What?
Fog and mist is not.
A natural phenomena.
But they know why.
Okay, well, it's going to be a natural phenomena here. So imagine driving down a lonely road. The sun is just starting to rise, and you are passing a field. The field has an ominous layer of fog just sitting there, obscuring your view of what may be hiding within.
That's all right. Obscure the view.
Think of the Hunger Games catching fire, so the second one. One of the hours on the clock is a fog that's so toxic staying inside will kill you.
Oh, yeah, I think I remember that.
Yeah. Now that...
It rolls down the hill.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, they touch and they get all, like, blistered.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this may be just an innate, irrational fear inspired by scary movies or stories that should we enter the mist, we may never come out.
Yeah, why would you... It's like the same thing of why when you can't see in the water.
Mm-hmm. But is it truly irrational? What if there was a fog that is rumored to eat people alive?
Oh, that would be unfortunate.
The Tomoka River is located in Volusia County in the Tomoka State Park in Daytona Beach. It stretches about 19.6 miles, 31.5 kilometers. Our story focuses on the woods that surround this river in the state park. Back in 1955, this river and the surrounding woods were a popular
Every
location.
time you tell ghost stories, I can't have my feet under the table. I just hope you fucking know that this is what you do to me.
Good. So the river and the surrounding woods were a popular location for hunters and fishermen. But this is also the year when those hunters and fishermen started to report seeing a very strange, thick cloud of pink mist. It would usually appear in the cooler months and would form low to the ground, seemingly all of a sudden and out of nowhere. And it would also seem to move on its own, not even the wind helping to move it in one direction or the other. And if that's not creepy enough, truly like the Hunger Games, the mist was said to have a sort of corrosive property to it, being able to strip dead animals and even humans of their flesh, leaving behind only bleached bones. Though dead animals were obviously easier to catch, it was also said that this mist would capture live prey as well, should the live prey wander into its path. There are reports that say that some of the remains of the carcasses appear to have been melted or even half digested when found. Others have reported to see the mist in action, with birds, insects, and other animals dropping dead when coming into contact with it.
Fuck?
The bark off of trees is even said to have been stripped away by this mist, and the brush around would dissolve, leaving dead plants in its wake.
Oh my.
So Weird US is a good place that has some weird things to say about this cloud from people who commented.
You don't say.
People in this area are all too aware of the legends that surround this park and the cloud that is said to roam around. Jimbo, he said, the only thing I can tell you about the Tacoma pink cloud is that it would devour your body if you got too close to it. It was not always there, but many deer hunters came upon it during deer season. No one knows what it is. Some said it was swamp gas, and some said it was old Chief Tomoki protecting his happy hunting ground. I don't think anyone has seen it since about 1965. Someone who goes by Welder 2 said, quote, they called it the cannibal cloud when I was in school, and it was supposed to be pink and would eat the meat off anybody that came into contact with it.
You think it was pink because of all the blood?
Oh.
Mixing with the clouds?
Ew. It wasn't swamp gas. It was more like a fog that didn't really cover but a small area in a low spot. I don't think we can see it all the time, just certain times of the year when we got a lot of fog. I don't think there is anything to the cannibal stuff or people disappearing. I think it is just fog that reflects a pinkish color in that area. You have to talk with people who were around in the 60s to hear about it. And NSB said, it is what nobody knows except that it is a thick pink cloud that covered a wide area of the Tomoka forest. Now there are claims that many people vanished in that area and only their bones were found. The pink cloud was blamed for the disappearances, and people said it would actually eat
maybe
flesh
they couldn't fucking see
off your bones. So the terrifying mist has been blamed for about a dozen mysterious disappearances in the park, as well as being potentially responsible for the unidentified bones that have been found in the park as well. Legends and locals say that there was an unusually high number of people either dying or going missing in the woods where the mist had been seen. But again, it's the woods. And it's Florida.
You can't see in the fog. You get lost.
Yeah, but then the fog lifts, so...
Yeah, but then you're lost.
That is true.
Like, you don't even know how you got there.
There have been tales dating back hundreds of years that talk about people dying in this area or disappearing, including the disappearances of a local Native American tribe, the Timucua. Though there have been no documents of any mass disappearances in this area, a large number of bones are constantly being found. The bones are unable to be dated, and different stories attribute them to different groups. Maybe the bones belong to that tribe, slaves, or even more recent residents in the area who are said to have disappeared. But these bones continue to be found. A ranger in the park said that for about 6 years, slave bones from the 1700s have been showing up. The area has many shell mounds, which were used for burial rituals. It is said that the largest shell mound housed about 150 to 200 Timucua.
I don't know why you keep looking at me as if I'm going to be able to give you the answer.
The tribe that was there. The white settlers who then stole this land also didn't fare much better, with many of them disappearing or dying as well. Nothing lasted on this land. Plantations and crops failed, settlements failed, hotels and other attraction ventures failed, and the notorious Fountain of Youth spring in the park disappeared and dried up. So, of course, there have been some theories about what this strange carnivorous fog or mist could be. The most popular theory centers around Chief Tomoka, a local native. Where this phenomenon occurred had been the last place that this tribe had a stronghold back in 1605. So the legend goes, the Great Spirit was highly respected by the tribe. Every night, the Great Spirit would come to Earth to drink the water of life from the special cup. That cup often overflowed or even spilled, which created a spring which was said to have healing powers. Well, Tomoka, the chief, stole this sacred golden cup and used the cup to drink directly from the sacred water of life without permission. The sacred spring was said to be the Fountain of Youth. But his actions went against local...
That's what Ponce de Leon was looking for.
Yeah, exactly. But his actions went against local religious practices as he had defiled something so precious and sacred. This offense upset the tribe so deeply that a civil war broke out. They hunted the chief down and attacked him and his tribe. But Tomoka had become something like a Superman, being able to fight off many men by himself, even without being harmed in the battle. At that moment, though, a young, beautiful Indian maiden named Aletta from an opposing tribe slowly raised her bow, drew it back, and shot a poison arrow at the chief. It landed perfectly in his heart.
Oh.
As he fell, Aletta rushed forward and grabbed the golden cup from his hand. As quickly as she had killed Tomoka, she was shot by a poisoned arrow herself and fell over, still clutching the sacred cup. Legend goes that this cup is still in the possession of Florida Indians and kept in a well-secured and sacred place. It is said that the chief's spirit now roams the area intertwined with the mist.
Why was she shot?
Because there was a whole civil war going on.
Oh.
Yeah, so her tribe, their tribe, everyone's fighting.
Got it.
So, but this theory is up for debate. No one can understand why or how the chief would be mixed up with the mist. Like, it's just, how is he mixed with this?
Mm-hmm.
There is, however, a monument that has Chief Tomoka at the top of the Tomoka State Park in Ormond Beach. So there's like a huge monument dedicated to him.
Yeah.
Even though some people say that this isn't even a true story, but there's like the whole monument dedicated to him. Another theory is a boring one, saying that there is frequent fog in the area and the light hits it in such a way that makes it look pink.
Well, when the guy said it shows up when there's a lot of fog.
Right? It shows up in the months when there's a lot of fog.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, you lost me.
Right? Shut up. All right, maybe it's just swamp gas. This is what the government tries to say.
An upset tummy.
So what is swamp gas, you may ask?
It's when
Wikipedia.
the swamp is stressed out and is experiencing IBS.
Or when it eats too much cheese.
Or when it has too much cheese and no one told it to have its lactate. Although, did you see the lactate in my picture on Instagram? When I had Olive Garden with my sister?
Yes, I did. I was very proud.
No one told me. I put it there myself. In fact, when I opened her table to like lift the thing, because I was like, oh, I got to get my lactate. Wait, you have some in your table.
Oh my gosh.
So I just lifted it and took it out. And I said that I had to do that. And the cream cheese that I bought at the store to have on my mini bagels in the morning.
Of course, yes.
Is like almond milk.
Oh.
Because if I'm going to have it every day, eventually
Right.
my stomach's not going to bite me anymore. It's always in my purse. That's why I said yes to the pizza that we're going to have tonight.
The cheese pizza Mackenzie is going to have.
Yes.
So Wikipedia tells us that swamp gas is a mixture of mostly methane and smaller amounts of hydrogen sulfide, carbon dioxide, and trace amounts of phosphine. So I wanted to look into those gases because they sound scary.
I don't even know what they are.
I will tell you.
Okay.
So hydrogen sulfide is a poisonous, corrosive, and flammable gas.
Anything with hydrogen in it just sounds bad. I know it's also in like our water, but
I was going to say.
it's just like the H bomb is the hydrogen bomb.
Yeah.
Like it's just, you know.
H2O2 is bad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's some that just, anything with carbon also sounds like it might be bad.
Well, carbon dioxide is the next thing in this.
Well, but that's what we
swamp
breathe
gas.
out.
Yeah, it's a gas, and
Yeah.
there are trace amounts of it in our atmosphere, so it's not that bad.
Carbon dioxide.
Phosphine is the last amount. There's like trace
it
amounts of
phosphate?
this. No.
Oh.
I don't think so. Phosphine?
Hmm?
I don't know.
Phosphine?
I don't know, but phosphine is flammable and and a highly toxic compound. It is a respiratory poison and at higher doses can be immediately dangerous to health or life.
So we don't know the elements.
Yep.
Oh.
Well, I saw a picture of the elements. I did not go into it because I didn't think that would be fascinating as hearing that the toxins can kill
Well, I
you.
just wanted to know if, what's it called again?
Phosphine.
Phosphine is phosphate.
You want me to look?
Yes, please. I doubt that one has to do with the other because I think phosphate's like a rock. I don't know, but phosphate, phosphine, they sound the same. Yeah, it's its own gas. Oh, wait. Phosphine is a highly toxic phosphorus hydride that is formed naturally via something decay of phosphorus.
You didn't say phosphorus.
What did I say?
You said like phosphate or something. You didn't say phosphorus.
That's what I was thinking of.
That's not what you said. You said phosphate, something like that.
Where's Bill Nye when we need him?
So, moral of this part, all the gases are toxic. So, a mixture of them all together is bad. So the swamp gas tends to form and be produced naturally in marshes, bogs, swamps, and such. Or is it a toxic cloud that has lethal fumes, but not from anything paranormal, but rather formed by chemicals from industrial plants? One of these could be the ground cloud of hydrofluoric acid. You did not say that. You heard the F and you're like, that's it.
No, didn't I say something with hydra?
I don't remember. All right. This acid was first prepared in 1771, and it paved the way for oil refineries, which started to pop up 1850s. So this acid was used in the reforming process, but it is actually extremely dangerous. It is known to cause a ground cloud under certain conditions. It is usually colorless, but there is this thing called Rayleigh scattering. Do you know what that is?
No.
So this is pretty much how like light is reflected. So it's what's responsible for making the sky blue and making sunsets pink. Yeah. So this is like a common explanation for the normally colorless clouds having a pink hue. But again, this theory is hard to confirm. So any one of these theories could relate to the pink mist that is seen and the other many disappearances that have been reported in the areas. These strange appearances and sightings of the mist lasted for over a decade, up until 1965 or 1966 when they just stopped. Another phenomena in the area is the Ormond ghost lights. This area doesn't just have the pink fog, but something else that could be connected to that pink mist are the ghost lights that have been seen haunting the area. These are weird, unexplained lights that float around the woods, the same woods that the mist is known for being in. These lights, though, can be a bit...
It's the people who are lost.
They're flashlights.
They're trying to get back and they're like, it's a fucking ghost! It's really these people who have lost.
Okay, keep that in mind as I go through the stories because that'd be really funny.
Okay.
So these lights, though, can be a bit mischievous. They are said to follow people who are in the woods and have even chased cars only to...
Oh my god, it's them trying to run out to say, wait, I'm here! And they're like booking it away! Jeez.
So they're said to chase cars, but then they disappear into thin air.
Probably because they slow down. They get tired. Maybe the flashlight goes out.
Okay, we've solved it. But these lights have also been responsible for some accidents and some deaths. People who've been chased by these lights describe a low hum accompanying the lights.
That's a scream.
These lights are reported often by people completely confused as to what they had just witnessed. The road where these lights are typically seen as a bridge, and for decades, people have reported seeing orbs flying through the sky. Activity reached such levels in the 50s that these lights became known as the Flight of the Lights. People driving down this road will either see one light that dances through the sky, moving in circles before crashing down, or they may see two lights that seem to be connected.
Maybe.
What?
Maybe what's happening is that there's ditches.
So as they're running...
They fall,
crash to the ground.
And that's why it looks like they just disappear because they fall into a ditch, or maybe they trip and fall down.
Yeah. So sometimes these lights will hover and crash into each other, and sometimes they'll combine into one.
Who were lost,
running into each other
and smack into each other.
The lights are usually described as being playful or with a mind of their own. It is often said that you can just pull up to the bridge, turn your car lights off, and just enjoy the show.
Oh, wow.
So what are these lights and where did they come from? If they're not people, one story about how these lights came about starts with a married couple just driving down the quiet road at night. Suddenly, they get into an accident where the man is ejected from the car. When the injured woman gets out of the car, she sees her husband slumped up against a tree. He had died on impact. She is able to make it out of the car, but not far enough to be with her husband. So she lies there, waiting for help to come, all the while calling out her husband's name. Now, at this spot, 2 balls of light hover in the area, always seeming to try to get to each other, but never quite can.
Do you think that maybe she was like, woo doo doo doo, like, spotty?
What?
Like, when you see spots.
So she thought she saw the lights?
Yeah, but
No, she didn't report the lights. She died.
Oh.
People are This is not her report.
So the fuck do they know what she saw?
No one said she saw anything. Now at this spot, 2 balls of light hover in the area.
I thought she saw the lights.
No! Nowadays lights are seen.
So it's supposed to be the people who died.
Yes, because they're always trying to get to each other, but never quite can.
Okay.
Some others say that these are the lights of the spirits of those who have died in the battle between the tribes, which really connects it back to the mist in a way.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Checks out.
So I mentioned that these lights have been responsible for injuries or even death. One story says that there was a motorcycle driver all by himself driving down this road. He was determined to catch the lights. Well, he died in his efforts. This is great. So It said he's trapped on the road, appearing as a bright white light. The bright light is usually accompanied by loud motorcycle sounds that will follow drivers just to quickly disappear. So he died in a motorcycle, and now he's just following on his motorcycle. Another story says that a newlywed couple was driving down the road when they saw the lights. But right after the lights disappeared, their car broke down. The man left to go get help, but he never returned. Clearly,
that was stupid. He probably got lost. It's foggy. I'm telling you, it's just all these fucking people lost for so long, and then this fog disappears.
It makes complete sense. So she's freaked out. So the woman follows after to go searching for her husband.
She then also got lost.
She was never seen again either.
Oh my God. I'm not going to lie to you. If we ever go somewhere and you decide, not that this would actually happen, but let's say you just decide to go venture out on your own.
Yes.
I'm not going to come look
because
for
I would
you.
go venture out into the dark by myself.
That's why I'm just saying, if for whatever reason that thought happened and I said, okay, I'm going to stay here, I would not come find you.
I would hope you would convince me to not go. Be like, Lauren, this is how people die.
I'm just saying.
Okay, for future reference.
And that goes for anybody that I'm friends with that thinks that they would go and venture out. I'm not coming to find you. I will not disappear.
There was one time when something happened and Joe was like, I'll be right back. And I was like, that's how people die.
Do you remember when we were making that scary movie?
That was so funny.
And we didn't we try to record it?
Yeah. Mackenzie and I, when we were in middle school, tried to make a scary movie. It was so stupid. And then we asked our friends to act in it, and we tried to record it because it was going to be a scary movie.
I had a actual video camera.
Yeah.
Like it was like
not on our phones, like a legit video camera.
Like tape and everything.
Yep. It was not good. And then we kind of like didn't use it ever. And then when we were in high school, as seniors, we had to do a 1 act. So we had to write a play for our grade. And guess what we used?
That script.
But back to our story. So, yeah. So it says the couple now appears on the road and as lights. And they try to cause other couples to break down to suffer the same fate.
Well, that's not nice.
It's not nice. Maybe they just want some couple friends.
But I mean, come on. Want better for others than you had for yourself.
Right, but they died, so they're kind of sad. So, one person to witness these lights was the executive director of the Ormond Beach Historical Society, Suzanne Heddy. She said the first time that she saw them, she was in a car. The lights coming at her, it separates into 2 and went around her car and reformed behind her car.
Maybe it was 2 motorcycles.
Swerving out of the way? Okay. The second time she saw them, they formed in front of the car again, but went over the car this time.
I think someone needs to check in on Suzanne.
So she said there's a lot of speculation as to what they could be. No one really knows what they are. But she says that, of course, the most obvious answer was aliens. But other people discounted it as swamp gas. But I find that hard to believe because they weren't reflective lights. So Suzanne says that just it's obviously aliens.
Right. I mean, she probably is more right than like, I don't know.
Other people?
I'm just saying, I'm telling you, it's poor people who got lost in that damn fog.
So another man named Bob, he also has a story. So he would head out.
If it's the same Bob from my story.
So he would head out into this area with a particular goal of seeing the lights. He described it as being a glowing red ball of white light, which didn't make sense, a glowing red ball of white light. And he claimed that he had seen it many times just going down the road when he was a teenager in the 60s. He had also heard of the pink mist that would, quote, eat the meat off human bodies. He heard that several people were reported as having gone missing in the woods. The only trace of them being left was their bones. And then Joe Isaacs, the assistant manager of Tomoka State Park, said that there were a whole bunch of versions about the lights. One person said, if the lights make contact with you, it'll eat your flesh. Locals say that a young couple that was parked on the side of the road were involved in an accident where they died, and that they are the ones who are haunting it. He says then, quote, I don't want to be a naysayer, but I've been living here in the park for 30 years and I've never seen them. I think every town in the world probably has a legend like this.
We don't.
In Virginia?
Yeah.
Not with lights, but we have other legends.
Like what?
Well, we have like Bunny Man. He's like our legend.
What?
You don't know Bunny Man? Mackenzie.
What?
Bunny Man Bridge. It's in Fairfax.
No, it is not.
Yes, it is.
What?
I swear to God. There's a bridge in Fairfax, and it's known as the Bunny Man Bridge. I'm not going to go into the whole story because we could maybe cover it in the beginning of our Virginia episode.
Got it.
But yeah, it's in Fairfax, and it's like the super creepy bridge. And there's a brewery there called the Bunny Man Brewery, based off of the Bunny Man Bridge. All right, Virginia episode, I'll talk about the Bunny Man Bridge at the beginning of the episode.
You know what? That's okay.
I'm going to.
No.
So you can be scared.
That's probably why I didn't know about it in the first place. I didn't go seek out that kind of information.
Nora and I have talked about it before, so if you actually listened, you would have known.
Oh, don't even try.
So, other reports relate these lights more to the mist with the claim that these lights are also carnivorous and lethal. So that's how they say the lights and the mist are the same. What is strange, though, is that sightings and claims of encounters with the pink mist and the spooky lights all seem to stop in the mid-1960s. But there may be
Because people stopped doing drugs.
Well, the 70s was right there.
True.
But there may be an explanation about why the legend of the lights died out in the 60s. A park ranger at the Tomoka State Park said, quote, as far as I know, the lights have been disproven because of the fog and the lights way back then. The bridge used to be lower, the lights would shine across the marsh, and the marsh gases would look like ghosts. That's where it came from. So this would make sense because a new bridge, the current one that's being used today, was installed in 1961. The new height of this bridge changed the angle at which cars would approach and enter the woods. So with that, the so-called ghost light stopped as well. So you are on the right track with lights.
Thank you.
But I don't think this accounts for people saying that the lights seem to have a mind on their own, that they travel and move around.
Of their own.
Yeah, a mind of their own.
Oh, it sounded like you said on their own.
I don't know. They don't have a mind of their own.
Okay.
So that, like, people say that the lights, like, kind of move around freely and do whatever they want, which cars, like, can do.
Yeah, but if it's coming at a certain angle, that, like...
The marsh gases could be weird.
Yeah.
And as for the mist, there have been no recent sightings, but people from the 60s and before will recount their experiences and experiences that they have heard about the mist. No one knows for sure what went on in Tomoka Park, but hopefully the mist and the lights are gone for good.
Maybe they found everybody.
Maybe they found everybody and no one's walking around with flashlights anymore.
They're like, all right, we got them all.
I do like your theory, though. It literally makes so much sense.
Thank you. Thank you.
So you're welcome, Florida. We have figured out your ghost lights.
We have figured out your ghost lights. We have not figured out your boat.
No. We probably won't figure that one out.
Probably not.
But
hey.
One out of two is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just call us super sleuths. Right? Isn't that the thing?
Yeah.
Okay. You're just looking at me weird. Like
I know. Sometimes it's just fun to make people, like, keep talking because just of a look.
I thought you were staring at me because I'm stupid.
No.
Okay.
No, you're right.
Okay, cool.
Well, we're glad we could help you, Florida. So help us by following us on all the things. Rate and review us. Send us emails.
Yeah, definitely reach out to us on social media, even if it's just to say hi.
Yeah, we like to
It's
say
fun.
We like the highs.
We like the highs. Makes us feel like we're not talking to ourselves.
Right.
So...
And also, if you want a sticker and a personalized thank you card or just a thank you card, go to our Google Doc.
Yep, the link is still in our Instagram bio.
Mm-hmm.
I just also reposted it to our Instagram story today, which I'll also do when this comes out. And then you can also go to the website and go to the podcast support page, and the link is on there. It just has you fill out the form, address, version of payment, all that kind of good stuff. No one else sees it except for us.
Right.
But I said this last episode, if you are unsure or nervous, feel free to reach out to us. Like email, social media, whatever.
DM, anything.
Yeah. So, thanks for supporting us.
Yeah, thank you. So stay scary.
Stay safe.